Hi, welcome to Biology at Havant Campus. I'm Amy and I teach most of the first year biology classes. If you are interested in the living world and are curious about the many different organisms we have on our planet, then A-level biology will answer some of your questions. Biology is a very interesting subject, particularly at the moment, as you will learn about current world issues such as how viruses replicate and how enzymes could be used to address the global plastic crisis. So if any of that interests you, please come and study biology at Havant Campus.
So on the biology course, in the first year, you'll start looking at the smaller end of things, biological molecules. That's your proteins, lipids, carbohydrates, DNA. Then you move on to how these all come together to form cells. We look at the cell organelles, how cells divide. Then we move on to systems such as the gas exchange system, the transport system, and how this allows organisms to exchange substances with their environment. Then we get on to ecology and looking at how evolution works, classification and things like that. In the second year, we start off with energy transfers, which is photosynthesis and respiration, how organisms are able to detect and respond to changes in their environment, the nervous system, endocrine systems, genetics, populations, evolution again, and some more on ecosystems. And then we end up with the control of gene expression, which also includes things like genetic engineering and gene therapy. The practical endorsement is done as part of the lessons, and you just have to keep a record of the practicals that you do.
So you'll be taught over 5 hours a week, and that will be over 3 separate lessons. You'll have 1 2-hour lesson in a week and 1 and 2 1.5-hour lessons a week. The theory and practical sessions are integrated, so we'll do both of those each lesson. And the 8 units that you will be taught are broken down into smaller manageable packs, which are completed during home study time. And these packs will include videos, exam practice, and some support resources that you can use for your revision purposes.
Assessment is done at the end of 2 years. There are 3 papers. First one covers first year content, the second year content, and then the final paper will cover both first and second year and will include a 25-mark essay. There'll be a whole range of question styles similar to what you've already done at GCSE, including short answer, extended response, and comprehension questions. As I said previously, the practical endorsement is assessed throughout the course, and you will do at least 12 core practicals.
So the entry requirements to study biology at Havant Campus are you need to have a grade 6/6 in double science or a 6 in biology and 1 other single science subject. And you will also need to have a grade 6 in maths.
So trips and enrichment, here are some examples of our recent enrichment examples. We have guest lecturers coming in. We take students out to lab days at Southampton University. We've got teaching at the Bosmere Primary School and various other things. Oh, the sleep study was a recent one where we are working in conjunction with Oxford University. And this is why we now start at 10, because teenagers work much better later in the day.
So there are loads and loads of subjects that go really well with biology that you can also study at the Havant and South Downs College. Some include chemistry, maths, environmental science, geology, physics, geography, psychology, and PE. They all go really well with biology, but there are lots of others that you can do alongside it just as well.
So biology is going to open lots of doors for you in the future. It can send you off on a whole variety of careers. There's the more medical ones, nursing, midwifery, physiotherapy, radiography, medicine, veterinary, dentistry. You can go into sports science, or if you're less interested in humans, more interested in animals, we've got marine biology and zoology and conservation, just as a few, but there will be many more.
Hello and welcome to A-Level Chemistry here at HSDC Havant Campus. My name is Ginger Chom and I will tell you a little bit about the course and try to answer questions that we typically get in an open evening. We are doing the OCRA specification. These are the topics and a lot of it is overlapping with GCSE material, but we always go into more depth and the students have to show real understanding rather than just memorizing facts. The specification has 3 exams. The first paper is Inorganic Material of Year 1, Year 2. The second one is Organic Material in Year 1, Year 2. And the third one, the unified paper, tests the real in-depth understanding of any topic within the 2-year course. 20% of the examined content is testing math skills, so we need students to enter the course with reasonable knowledge, like strong knowledge of maths, and also 15% of the questions are asking about practical competencies and practical techniques. For that reason, especially for the maths content, our entry requirements are a 6 in chemistry if a student is doing triple science, or 6s in both years for at least the chemistry part of the double science course, preferably 6s of all the sciences, and also a 6 in maths. Now, English skills are also something that would be really useful to have. So the stronger your English skills, the better you will be able to answer level of response questions. We do practicals. We do more than the required 12 practicals a year. With COVID, our practical schedule is a little bit different, but by the time you come to us, possibly that will not be an issue. Students are required to keep a lab book, just as it shows on the bottom of the screen. That will be your evidence that you have done the practicals, and you get a pass, or it's a pass and fail certificate, but usually our students get passes if they attend the lessons. Our labs are really well resourced, and we have really experienced teachers. There are 3 of us teaching chemistry here, and when students did actual exams in 2019, we had 97% pass rate and 49% high grades. Our students do really well and get into top universities, including Oxford and Cambridge. Our classes usually are quite interactive. Students often have to demonstrate their understanding by explaining concepts to each other. We get them occasionally to do presentations to their peers, and we do 1 or 2 research projects a year to get them up to university level skills. All our resources are on Google Classroom. That is good for students just to revisit a lesson that perhaps they haven't quite got when they attended, or if somebody is ill, they can revisit the lesson or visit the lesson online and catch up. Of course, with COVID during remote learning, that is our go-to thing. And there is a live link to lessons, so if a student is ill or self-isolating at the moment, they can log in and join the lesson live. Our Google Classroom is organized and all the resources are there. And we also encourage students to go beyond the specification, and we post podcasts for them or book recommendations. That's especially useful for medics or high achieving students. How big is the jump for GCSE chemistry, GCSEs to chemistry? It depends on the student. If you relied on memorizing most of your GCSEs, you will find the jump quite big. If you actually understood what you learned, the jump is not that big. How much work do I have to do for chemistry? Well, to be successful at any A level, you really would need to do 5 hours outside of college for each of your subjects per week. but chemistry is tend to be considered a harder subject. So it may be that you need to spend more than 5 hours a week to do chemistry to get really good at it. What can I do with a chemistry A level? Lots of things, not just becoming a doctor. You can become a technical writer, you can become a science journalist, you can become a pharmacist, a chemical engineer, any other kind of engineer. And chemistry is well respected to any university course. So if you do chemistry, it opens lots of doors and doesn't close any. How will COVID affect how chemistry is run? Well, technically, I really hope that we won't have the COVID restrictions by the time you come to us, but the classes are still interactive. We just do it on Google Classroom, so most students can edit the same document, so that's our equivalent of group work, and the practicals may not be taught when we teach the theory. They may be clustered or spread out depending on how we can deal with the distancing. And this is what our students say about us. They like the course and they do find it hard, but they enjoy and they find the value in it. So I really hope that I gave you enough information. Should you need to know more, please email the college and I will respond to your questions. Thank you very much, and thank you for being interested in chemistry.
Physics is the most fundamental science, from the smallest subnuclear particle to the whole universe. You don't need to remember much, and it's all about ideas. A-level physics is about how things work and the nature of the universe. Along the way you do experiments and gain useful skills, and we have lots of equipment here. In the first year, the topics are electricity, forces and motion, materials, waves, the quantum world. And in the second year, we go on to oscillations, fields, generators, motors, gases, the universe, subnuclear particles, and medical physics. Typical activities in lessons include doing theory, demonstrations and practicals, answering short and long questions, seeing video clips and simulations. The practical assessment is about doing standard experiments as we go along, and those are checked at the end. People who do physics often go into engineering or energy supplies, medical physics, electronics, design, things like that. The pass rate is 95%. We always get able people in physics with a class size of about 18, and last year there were 8 A's and 4 A stars. Usually we run an annual trip to CERN, Geneva, to see nuclear physics in Europe, which is very interesting. We also have some links to Southampton and Portsmouth universities. To get into the course, you need a 6 in maths and 2 6s in either science or physics. Physics involves experiments and demonstrations. Here we've got one which shows a pendulum oscillating. And we've got the sensor data log to a laptop so we can see it oscillating in time. Data logging is useful for things that are moving like this. And we do pendulums like this in the second year, and we often use laptops to analyse the data.
Hi, my name's Ryan and I teach geology here at Havant and South Downs College, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the subject. So, geology is about the Earth. It's an earth science. You know, if you're interested, have a natural curiosity about earthquakes, volcanoes, the physical side of geography, and you want to know more about how those things work, then geology may well be for you. It's a unique subject. We have some of the highest results in science across the college, and for the last 6 years that I've taught geology here, nobody has ever failed the subject, which is pretty amazing if you ask me. And if you look at high grades, which are A star, A and B, for geology you've got on average 55% of those students, so over half get a pretty damn good grade, and actually over half go on to university to study geology or geology related subjects in other places. So later on in the video I'm going to hand over to some ex-students who have experienced it, and they can tell you about that. But I'm just going to take you on a quick tour. So here we have the lab. As you can see behind me, we have a bespoke geology lab here at Havant and South Downs College, which means that we have lots of samples, lots of other interesting pieces of equipment like microscopes over here, which I'm just going to take you to have a little look. You can see here we've got a lab book set up, which actually has students' work in it. And if we look in a little bit closely, you can see they're doing some drawings of some fossil samples, and we might also be using the microscope just to have a look at minerals and rocks under the microscope, which is pretty amazing. Someone always says, is geology all about rocks? Well, yes, a lot of it is, because what we know most about on our Earth and our planet, it's the surface layers, so the crust, and the crust is made up of rocks. So as you can see here, we've got some specialist equipment. We've got some igneous rocks here, which are formed by volcanic activity and cooling magma. So we would look at those rocks to try and help us understand how volcanoes behave and how we can predict them better for the future, and also save lives, because we can. Being geologists, it's important fact. Also, we've got past life and past climate. So here's some of my friends here. There he is. He's lost a little bit, and we look at mass extinctions, and we look at how past life and past climates have evolved and adapted on our Earth's surface. We've got different minerals like this beauty here, which, how did that form? Where did it, why has it got certain properties? So we look at the chemistry behind that. So if you're interested in science, it's a really good subject, because it encompasses a bit of biology and past life and past climates like this guy. And it also encompasses things like metamorphic processes, fold mountain belts and things like that, forming this absolute beauty of a rock, one of my favourites. And also we're looking at mineral structure. So you might have something like this, which is a nice cubic structure, and we can represent that with some models and actually try and recreate it if we want to. And we also look at sedimentary processes, so surface processes like this one. As you can see, it's got a pretty unique sort of appearance. We would be looking into that and trying to work out what's happened in the past. So we're kind of playing detectives a little bit as a geologist. As you can see, the lab's beautifully set up. We've got a range of equipment here for mineral testing, which year ones are currently doing. At the same time, we've got some specimens over here that they're going to be describing, some little hand lenses to magnify the stuff up, so we can see it more, some more mineral samples. And on the walls and the displays, we've got things like this, which is, exam skills, because in geology you will have to do 3 different exams. One like this, very standard sort of science exam. Not lots of extended writing, but really, really important that you understand how those exams work. If you like maps, then geology is very important skill to look at. You've got one of the exams, which is map work and samples, and some of the other skills that you might have to do, things like you've got a coloured map behind me there that we use and we look at as well, field notebooks and things like that, because we have at least 4 days of field work in geology. So we get out and about, Lulworth Cove, Kimmeridge Bay, optional trip to Iceland as well. You know, there's everything. It's action packed in here. You know, you will learn lots of new things and have lots of new experiences in geology. So if you want to find out more, have a look at the specification. We do the WJEC specification, EDUCAS. So have a look online, by all means contact me and find out some more. And yeah, that's geology at Havant and South Downs College. Bye.
My name is Joe. Since leaving college, I have graduated from the University of Portsmouth with a first-class honours degree in geology. Studying A-level geology really kick-started my passion for this subject, with great field trips across the south of England, such as going to the Jurassic Coast, which really is eye-opening for understanding how the rocks that we stand on have shaped our planet's 4.5 billion year history. The course covers a wide range of earth sciences such as paleontology, plate tectonics, volcanology and more, and coupled with valuable lab experience, Ryan's put together a really great course that sets you up well if you want to study it further at uni. But more to the point, it's just a really fun science to learn about, and if you're someone like me who always loved geography at school, then it might just be the passion you have to find. I'm about to do a research masters at the University of Portsmouth, just seeing which one of the many paths that the world of rocks will take me on.
Hello. Thank you for taking the time to click on the geography link. I'm Helen and I'm one of the geography teachers here at Havant College. I'm just going to tell you a bit about the course and why you should take geography. So we take the AQA A-Level Geography course. The link can be found on the PowerPoint, and it's an incredible course because it's very contemporary. It's all about the modern world and about modern issues. So if you like the world around you, you're curious about hazards, you're curious about people, you want to know more about how places are changing, or you just want to know more about globalization or how the coasts are shaped in our own country, this is the course for you. So in the AQA course, we study a number of key subjects. In year one, the first years will take a course in hazards, followed by the population module, and then we will finish with the coastal environment study. In the second year, the students start off with global systems and global governance. We then move on to the water and carbon cycle, and then we finish off looking at changing places. Now, the course is made up of 80% exam, which will be from your modules, and then 20% will be made up of your coursework. This is known as your NEA, non-examined assessment, and this will be part of your coursework requirements. This starts in the first year and will be completed in the second year, and it gives you the opportunity to explore a part of geography that you're really interested in. You set up your own investigation title, you organise your field work, and you write up your coursework. And this is counted towards 20% of your final grade. Thank you for listening, and if you need any more information, I'll be available at the virtual open evening. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Paul Sweeney and I teach environmental science at Havant and South Downs College. I'm sorry we're unable to meet you in person today, but I hope this small presentation makes up for it and answers any questions that you have about this subject. So why might you want to take an environmental science A-level? Well, environmental science is a very broad subject. It includes aspects of geology and geography, and also biology and zoology. And therefore, because it has such a large range, it's a very, very interesting subject to take. So what's the makeup of the course? The course is split into 6 different units. There is a 7th unit, but it's integrated throughout the rest of the course. To begin with, we look at the living environment, where we examine life on Earth and how it interacts with each other. Then we go on to look at the physical environment and how we can utilise minerals in our environment to supply our needs. After that, we look at sustainability and how we exploit these things without damaging them. In the second year, we go on to the usage of energy resources, and that then leads into pollution. After that, we look at farming and how we can sustain ourselves in terms of food. So, how will my lessons be taught? We get 5 hours of contact time a week. They are composed into 3 lessons. You get 1 long lesson of 2 hours and then 2 shorter lessons of 1.5 hours. Now, your lessons will be note-taking and watching films and taking part in various different practical sessions, and there'll also be 5 hours you're expected to do at home by yourself in terms of online learning, where you'll get study packs and homework to do. At the end of the 2 years, you'll get 2 exams. They are long exams at 3 hours, and they have half the marks in each part. The first one covers the physical environment and pollution and energy, and the second one does the biological resources and sustainability and the living environment.
So, what are your grade requirements to do environmental science? Well, as with most A-levels, it's 5 GCSEs at grade 4 or above, but we would need you to have a grade 5 in 2 of the following, which is either science, any of the sciences, mathematics or geography.
With our current restrictions under COVID, unfortunately, some of our expected trips and enrichment activities haven't gone ahead, but we're hoping with time that we'll be able to get back to normal as soon as possible. And we would be intending to go out on visits to actually do some actual measurement of our environment. Now, environmental science allies well with many subjects, but it goes particularly well with biology, geology, and geography. But all science and mathematics tend to reinforce each other, so you'll find that if you're taking any of these subjects, they go together very well. So, where will my environmental science A-level take me? Well, there are plenty of places that will accept environmental science A-level as their science qualification. So even to go into the fields of nursing or even biology, the idea is your environmental science A-level counts as a science. But in addition to that, there are many degrees that are allied to this actual subject. And we can see from our little breakdown here that most of our students go on to do a degree, and most of them actually go on to do a degree based in environmental science. Well, thank you very much for watching this presentation, and I hope to see you in the near future.
Hi, I'm Claire and I'm the course manager for A-Level PE. For this A-Level, you need to have 5 GCSEs at grade 4 and above. This must include English, Maths and Science. The A-Level consists of 3 different units. This is Anatomy and Physiology, Skill Acquisition and Sport and Society. This will make up the 70% of your final grade. The other 15% comes from a piece of coursework and the other 15% is from a practical assessment. So in order to be able to do the assessment, you must be playing competitive sport outside of college.
Hi, my name's Amelia Spry and I came from Horning Technology College. So the reason I chose to do PE at HSDC was because I'm an athlete, I do sprinting and I really wanted to improve my knowledge of the sport and other sports and learn more about the body. And so after college I'm looking to go into outdoor education, so my studies here at HSDC will really help me with that in the future.
Hi, I'm Dan. I'm one of the PE teachers here at HSDC. I'm going to talk a little bit about the skill acquisition unit. In your first year, it really looks at how we can coach and how people learn their skills when they're developing from a young age up to an old age, and also how people start to process information so those skills become more honed and you can turn into an elite performer. In the second year, we look at more of the psychology unit, so it links really well into Psychology A Level. We look at things like attitudes and how people's attitudes towards sport and other participants can change as you go through. We also look at aggression and how people choke under pressure.
Hi, I'm Gemma. I teach A-Level PE at HSDC. During your time studying PE, you'll have lots of opportunities to take part in extracurricular activities such as college competitive football, rugby, badminton, hockey, netball, just to name a few. And you'll also have the opportunity over the 2 years to be involved in some day trips and overseas residentials. In the past, we've taken students to London to watch some elite sport and find out more about the development of the 2012 Olympic Games and the facilities. And we've taken students to Lanzarote to Club La Santa to take part in lots of wonderful activities in the sun.
Hi everyone, my name's Katie. I'm one of the other sport lecturers on the A-Level programme. So I teach the Sport and Society section. So across the 2 years we look in first year of the development of sport and how it changes over time, and then linking that to society and how it's impacted, linking to commercialisation and what we're looking at today. Then into second year, how that looks in regards to ethics and deviance and potentially the technology that's involved and how we can help sport improve for the future.
Hi, I'm Dave Galloway and I'm going to be teaching you anatomy and physiology when you come to join us on the A-Level PE programme. In the first year, we'll study about the skeletal system, the muscular system, cardiovascular, respiratory, and we'll also look at energy systems and how we provide energy for sport. We try to make it so you look at some practical sessions as well as the theory and application. To do that, we'll be in the sports hall, we'll be out in the field, we'll be in the gym, and we'll look at a whole range of areas. In the second year, we'll look at biomechanics, how the body works and moves within sport. We'll look at diet and nutrition, and we'll look at a range of different activities on how you can optimise your performance. You look at different training methods and you look at why elite athletes use these. We're really looking forward to seeing you on the programme. Take care.